Hey guys, it's Mrs. Daniel. Welcome back. We are still in our online learning. This is week number 2, and we have chosen as teachers to do add and subtract integers. It's a review of what we've learned in class before, and that way we can get stronger in our basic skills so that when we come back to Garner, we're set and we're ready to move forward. So let's get started in our adding and subtracting integers. Okay, right up here, we probably even have some notes in our journal, and of course, I will attach some notes to our Google page, our Google Classroom. So the first problem I've chosen is -7 plus 4. And I started out here with a visual for us, and at the top you will see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 negative symbols, and to that I'm going to combine it with 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have my 4 positive symbols. So in class, we talked about kind of like a war scene, and that the -7 would be 7 like bad guys, and the positive or +4 would be 4 positive guys. And what's going to happen is we line up our negative soldiers and we line up our positive soldiers, and we send them into battle. So what happens is this negative and this positive, they come together and they make what's called a zero pair, and they disappear. So that's going to happen again, as you can see. This negative and this positive come together to make a zero pair, and they go away. And again, this negative and this positive is a zero pair, and they go away, and one more time, and it goes away. So what you can see is that we are left with 3 negatives. So the final answer to this problem is a -3. Okay, so I really want us to look at this example because something that I want to make sure that you notice is that, yes, I can draw a picture and the picture makes it really easy to visualize that the answer is a -3, but not all of my problems are going to be this small. Perhaps my problem changes to, oops, sorry guys, let me get that screen back, a -37 plus, and then let's say 24. Okay, I don't want to sit here and draw that huge picture. So let's figure out from the picture what is happening mathematically so we can apply it to bigger problems. So I notice that I have the bigger amount, okay? So -7 is not actually bigger than 4. It's in the sense that of soldiers, I have more negative soldiers than positive soldiers. So in the end, that is why my answer ends up being negative, is because I have more of these negative soldiers to start with, okay? And then it's like, how do I get that number 3? Well, basically what happens, that smaller amount of soldiers, so that 4, okay, so 4 is a larger number than -7. But if I think about it in soldiers, I have less of these soldiers. What I have to do is I have to take these positive 4 soldiers and I have to subtract them out of the negatives. Because basically these positive 4s are going to go and they're going to kill out those negatives right here where I'm showing you in the picture. So those 4 positive soldiers subtract or take away those 4 negative. So to get the 3, mathematically what I do is I take the larger amount of soldiers, which is going to be that -7, but it's going to be 7 of those negative soldiers, okay? And I'm going to take away from it the 4 positive soldiers. Okay, and of course 7 minus 4 leaves us with that 3 remaining soldiers. So again, we get -3 as our final answer to the starting problem over here. A picture is beautiful to help, but mathematically what we're doing is we're just saying you're going to subtract them and keep the sign of the one you have more of. So I have more negative, so my final answer is negative. Okay, so let me draw a line here, separate. Okay, so the next problem I've given you is not that we have different signs, but what happens when you add and you have the same sign. So again, the visual is super, super helpful, okay? So I have my -5 soldiers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all lined up, and I want to add to it 3 more negative soldiers, 1, 2, 3. So I have all my soldiers and they're lined up and they're ready to go to battle, but they look at each other and they realize, whoa, hey, we're all on the same team. Well, gosh, if we're on the same team, we need to do something about that. Let me see if I can just move this guy. Nope, it moves my whole page. Let's see here. That's not going to work for me. So what I want you to do is I want you to think we're going to take this guy. Whoops, excuse me. We're going to take this guy and we're going to put him right up here. And we're going to take this guy and we're going to put him right up here. And we're going to take this guy and we're going to put him right up here. Because guys, they are all on the same team. We're not going to line them up and fight because there's no way to make a 0 pair. So when I look at this now, I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have 3 more of the same team. So that was 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8, and what kind of soldiers do I have? I have negative soldiers. So the final answer to this problem is that -8. -5 soldiers add -3 soldiers gives you a total of -8. Now again, the picture is super helpful, but we're not going to take like a -15 and draw out a -32. Okay, we would be here forever drawing these pictures. So we need to analyze what did we do with this picture to get -8 so I can apply it to bigger numbers. Okay, so what we did is we just noticed if the signs are the same, they're on the same team. So all you're going to do is add them together and keep the sign. We're going to add them together and we're going to keep the sign. Okay, so I'm going to go and erase some of this stuff, and then we're going to do those bigger problems that we had written. So pardon me as I go and I erase. So while I'm erasing, I'm hoping everybody has had some nice time at home, right? It gets to be a lot. I'm hoping that you're off of all of your video games every once in a while, and when you're off of your games that you are outside and doing something fun, okay? Not just sitting around playing those video games, although don't get me wrong, I know the video games are a good time. Okay, so I think I have enough off the screen to get going. Okay, so let's take that top problem, and we had a -37, and we're going to add to it 24. Okay, please know I'm not going to draw out the picture. I would be here forever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the rule. The rule said if you are adding, right here, if you are adding, and they are different signs, which we have a negative here and a positive here, so they are different. So if we're adding different signs, what we are going to do is we are going to subtract, and we're going to keep the sign of the larger number. Okay, so I have 37 bad guys and I have 24 good guys. Well, what I know when this is over is I'm going to have more bad guys. So my answer is going to be negative. So I'm going to go ahead and make that negative right here, and I'm going to make it really big and ugly. Okay, then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take my 37 and I'm going to subtract out 24 0 pairs, because those 24 good guys right here, these 24 good guys, they're going to go in and they are going to kill out 24 bad guys. So let me do the subtraction. 7 take away 4 is 3, and 3 take away 2 is 1. Okay, so when I'm done, there are still going to be 13 bad guys left after this battle. Okay, in an addition problem, if they have different signs, you are going to subtract, and your final result will end up with the sign of which one you had more of. And I had more negative soldiers. Okay. My example over here on the other side erased, but it's okay. I'm just going to make up another one, and it totally doesn't have to be the same thing. I'm going to say a -15 plus a -32. That may have been close. I don't remember. Okay, so here, I have negative 15, okay? They are lined up, they're ready to go to war, and I say, hey, I'm going to combine you with a negative 32. And they look around, they go, wait, we're all on the same team. We all have these negative signs in front, so we don't get to make a zero pair. Okay, we're on the same team. So if we're the same sign and we're adding, we literally add them up and we figure out, well, how many negative soldiers do we have? So I'm going to take my 15 and I'm going to add my 32. 5 and 2 make 7, and 1 and 3 make 4. So at the end of this battle, nobody has died or made a zero pair. What's happened is this negative team got bigger. There are now a negative 47 soldiers combined together. Okay? Hopefully this helps you. There are two separate rules when you're adding your integers, okay? Adding your integers, if they are the same sign, you add and you keep the sign. If they are different signs, you subtract and you keep the sign of the one you have more of.